Once upon a time, in a peaceful village by the edge of a deep green forest, there lived a cheerful young girl named Lily. Everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood because she always wore the bright red cloak her grandmother had lovingly sewn for her. One morning, Lily's mother handed her a basket filled with warm soup, fresh bread, and a jar of honey. She smiled gently and said, "Take this to your grandmother, my dear. She has been feeling weak, and your visit will brighten her day. Remember, stay on the path and do not wander into the woods." Lily promised to be careful, hugged her mother, and set off with the basket swinging from her arm. The forest was alive with birdsong, and sunlight filtered through the tall trees. As Lily walked, she hummed happily, but soon she noticed the trees leaning closer, their branches creaking as if whispering. Suddenly, a low voice seemed to drift through the wind. "Stay on the path, little one. Danger hides in the shadows." Lily froze. She had never heard trees speak before. She looked around but saw no one. Gathering her courage, she continued along the trail, clutching the basket tightly. From the bushes nearby, a pair of golden eyes gleamed. The clever wolf had been watching her. Tall and sly, with a grin stretched across his face, he stepped onto the path. Well, he said smoothly, "if it isn't Little Red Riding Hood, all alone in the forest. Where are you going, child?" Lily hesitated, remembering her mother's warning, but answered politely, "I am visiting my grandmother, who lives in a cottage at the end of this path." The wolf's grin widened. "How thoughtful of you. But tell me, wouldn't your grandmother love some beautiful flowers as well? Look at those glowing wildflowers just over there." He pointed with his nose to a patch of blossoms off the path. Lily bit her lip. She remembered the forest's whisper warning her not to stray. But the flowers sparkled so brightly in the sunlight that she couldn't resist. She ran to pick a few, and in that moment, the wolf slipped away into the shadows. By the time Lily reached her grandmother's cottage, the sun was beginning to set, and the forest was filled with long shadows. She knocked on the wooden door. "Grandmother, it's me, Lily." A weak, raspy voice answered, "Come in, my dear." Lily stepped inside. The cottage was dim, the curtains drawn. Her grandmother lay in bed with the covers pulled high under her chin. Lily set down her basket and peered closer. Something felt strange. Her grandmother's ears seemed larger, her hands rougher, and her eyes glowed oddly in the flickering candlelight. "Grandmother," Lily whispered, "what big eyes you have." The voice croaked back, "All the better to see you with, my dear. And what big ears you have. All the better to hear you with, my dear. And what big teeth you have," she gasped. With a roar, the wolf leaped from the bed, tearing off the grandmother's nightcap. "All the better to eat you with," he snarled. Lily screamed, but before the wolf could reach her, a sudden rush of wind blew the shutters open. The forest had heard her fear. The roots of ancient trees broke through the cottage floor, and thorny vines burst through the windows. They wrapped tightly around the wolf, holding him fast. "No!" The wolf howled, thrashing and snapping, but the magic of the forest was stronger. The door burst open, and Lily's real grandmother entered with the help of a kind woodcutter from the village. "Lily!" she cried, rushing forward. The wolf struggled, but the vines glowed brighter, pulling him into a swirl of dark smoke until he vanished completely. The cottage grew still again, the air calm and safe. Lily threw her arms around her grandmother, tears in her eyes. "I'm so sorry. I should have stayed on the path. I should have listened." Her grandmother stroked her hair and whispered, "You are safe now, my dear. And you have learned a lesson you will never forget. Always listen to warnings, especially from those who love you." They shared the warm soup and bread together that evening, and Lily felt comforted. Outside, the forest hummed softly, as if singing a lullaby, proud that Lily had shown courage, even in fear. From that day on, Lily never strayed from the path again. The wolf was never seen in the village, and the forest, though still mysterious, became a protector rather than a danger. Sometimes, when Lily walked by, she swore she could hear the trees whispering kindly, "Be brave, be wise, and never lose your way." And so, the tale of Little Red Riding Hood and the Talking Forest was told to children everywhere. A story of bravery, wisdom, and the magic that protects those with kind hearts.